In the year 2024, the coronavirus has mutated into the far more lethal Covid-19, which eats at the brain and can kill victims within 48 hours. In most of the country, quarantine zones, CamGirl zones, have been set up for people with severe cases, while the immune, or mummies, must carry yellow bracelets in order to step outside without issue. The Q zones are criticized and compared to concentration camps. A bike courier named Nico Price is immune and has a job working for Lester's Gets, which caters to rich clients. He brings a package late to an ungrateful customer who lives in a heavily guarded home, and the package must go through a decontamination pod. Nico's boss Lester keeps tracking him through a GPS, but he views Nico as his best guy. Nico also talks to his girlfriend Sarah Garcia, who lives with her grandmother, Lita, through video chat. A rich couple, William and Piper Griffin, live with their immunocompromised daughter Emma, who laments about feeling weaker than normal people and is also worried she will be taken to a Q zone. Piper also sells black market passes for people trying to leave their homes. When a man contacts Piper for the passes for himself and friends to travel beyond city limits, she gives him the price and then informs Emmett Harland, a man that operates the sanitation department with an iron fist. A singer named May does live-stream shows and performances, plus paid song covers, since she hasn't had a major gig in a long time. Her biggest fan is a handicapped Army vet named Michael Dozer, who works on the drones that Lester uses for his company. May personally contacts and video chats with Michael, developing something of a friendship with him. On her off hours, May is visited by William, who is sleeping with her behind Piper's back and disregards safety protocols to have sex with May. After Nico fails to show up for a delivery, Lester has Michael send a drone to find him. It catches Nico after he had stopped to chat with Sarah before he returns somewhat safely home and must continuously decontaminate. He later tries to set up a movie night with Sarah by projecting on his wall and having her watch via video chat. However, Lita starts coughing badly. Not long after, Harland arrives with a team of quarantine workers for Sarah's neighbor Alice. Her infection was quickly detected, and now Harland and his goons have arrived to take Alice to a Q zone. Harland knocks on Sarah's door to question if she has had any contact with Alice recently, but Sarah denies it. Sarah tells Nico, who heard everything, that she will take Lita's temp test in the morning and take care of her as best as she can. Nico later sits outside Sarah's door to talk to her. The next morning, she takes Lita's temperature after passing her own check, which detects a fever that alerts the Q zone guards to head to that residence. When Nico finds out, he sets out to try and score the passes to get himself and Sarah away. He tells Lester he knows that they are dealing in transporting the immunity bracelets, which leads him to find the Griffin home and ask for them. He speaks to William, but when Nico mentions the bracelets, Piper hangs up on him. She blames William for people finding out about them despite him saying otherwise, but she gives Nico an address to get him off their backs. Meanwhile, Lita dies by Sarah's side. Nico follows the address to a warehouse where he encounters Harland. He tries to lure Nico to capture him, but he quickly realizes it's a trap and manages to escape. After encountering some guards, he is helped out by another man who is fighting against people like Harland. William contacts May and demands to see her again. When she refuses to answer his texts, he calls her, and she tells him to leave her alone or she will post a recorded conversation between them where William offered her an immunity bracelet. Piper overhears the conversation and threatens William at gunpoint to leave for putting Emma at risk. Harland and his goons arrive at Sarah's apartment to get Lita. Sarah hides and knocks out one guy to take his hazmat suit and get herself out of the apartment safely. It almost works until Harland finds the other guy unconscious before going outside to apprehend Sarah. He realizes she is immune and then takes her captive. With help from Michael, May plans to leave and get away from William. However, William finds her first and starts to break into her car. He starts strangling May and orders her to go with him, but Michael uses a weaponized drone to blow William's brains out and save May. Nico goes to the Griffin home to try and get a bracelet, but he is caught by Piper and held at gunpoint. He says he is not there to hurt anyone and is just trying to save the last important person in his life. Piper agrees to help and gives Nico the bracelet for Sarah. When Nico goes back to Sarah's apartment, he finds Harland there waiting to kill him. Nico instead stabs Harland in the neck first and leaves him to die before calling Lester for help in rescuing Sarah. Lester gets Michael to use a drone to help Nico find Sarah. He is led to Q-Zone Alpha where Sarah is about to be taken in by guards. Nico gets to her in time and slips her a bracelet, which the guards scan and let her go. Nico and Sarah are finally able to touch and kiss. 3 months later, Piper helps place the blame on William and Harland for selling the bracelets. May and Michael start a virtual relationship. Lester gets a message from Nico, as well as his own bracelet. Nico and Sarah are then seen riding a motorcycle together.